the Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and I'm here with Blue Crumb Carnage. Now, yeah, I know this isn't blue, but what happened was there's part 3. I promised you part 3 of Blue Crumb Carnage, and you'll see when you go back through that playlist of Crumb Carnage, right? You'll see that this was not in there yet. Now, this is Placemats. What I did is I took all my leftover blue string quilt crumb blocks kind of thing, and I put them into placemats. Now, the placemats are going to go to Meals on Wheels. It was a President's Challenge for the Edmonton Modern Quilt Guild, is that we create placemats. Well, I went through a lot of blue fabric here, as you can tell, and I thought, oh, this is perfect. And then I'm like, I should show you guys the end of this. So I am going to show you how to make these quick and easy placemats. And yes, you can make them out of your crumbs. You can make them out of orphan blocks like I have here today. You can make them out of anything, but it was just a fun, fast, quick project, and it's perfect for a charity. So before we get too far on this, Crumb Carnage Blue Part 3, the placemats, let me give you your shout out. It's Sandy at So Easy with Sandy. Now, her YouTube link is going to be in our show notes below. Go over there and tell her that, you know, give her a thumbs up and tell her Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. I think she'd enjoy this kind of like little surprise that she's going to get from me today. Now, you got to get into that description box because there's so many things that are in there right now. Share, like, and subscribe. Making comments helps drive our analytics and helps move our video forward so we can continue giving you free, fun content like, you know, like charity placemats and patterns and all sorts of fun stuff. And it's a great way of using up your leftover bits and bobs of fabric. Now, if all you have time to do is put a heart, we appreciate that so much. But if you're not subscribed, please do consider subscribing. We'd love to hear from all of you that are watching our videos, you know, just for our content. We also have a Facebook group, and our Facebook group is warm and welcoming, and it's growing very quickly. We have fabric exchanges by country just to keep the cost of the postage down. We have numerous community chats, lots of fun in there going on, and a virtual sewing room hosted by Discord. And if you want it in, you have to download the Discord app and then ask the admins for an invite, and they can send you an invite, and you have all sorts of fun in there. And it's just a fun place to go hang out. And the ladies that are hanging out in there, they're actually becoming friends. You know, it just like they sew together and they start all of a sudden, oh, I have this in common with them. Oh, okay, yeah. So that kind of thing's going on. Also, I speak for free about elements of design, working with scrap fabric and making charity quilts. So if your quilting group or guild is looking for somebody to talk about any of those topics, please let me know, and I'll be glad to try and accommodate you and do a speaking engagement for you. Also, if you guys have shout outs, quilting community related, right, and you want me to mention them on our shout outs, please do send me either a message by email that's under the About tab on the YouTube channel, or you can message me through the Facebook group. I'd be delighted to hear who you think needs a shout out. Also, Quilt Bingo is going to start sometime in August. It's a skill builder, and everybody, I'm hoping to get this all organized and ready so that there'll be beginner level, and intermediate, and expert level, so that the beginners have something they can work with and they can make quilt blocks out of, and the intermediate people, they have something that can challenge them or just stay at their level, and the experts, if they got 13 minutes one day to make a block, they can make a beginner block. It's fine. It's all good. It's all about having fun and using up your fabric stash, right? So it's really good. Now, also the Zoom sew dates are going to be from now until the end of December in the show notes or the description box. And please look for the description box because, like I say, all of this stuff is there in there, and I lose track of it. And I talked to you about the So Yeah Brothers charity drive. Yes, they did. Okay, so come on in. I'll show you how to make placemats for Meals on Wheels. Okay, so we're at the sewing machine. I know this isn't blue, but it's the last bit of their Blue Crumb Carnage. And I showed you at the beginning there. I took all my blue strings and stuff that was in the the bottom of the basket, and I made placemats for Meals on Wheels. Now this is a President's Challenge, and my notes read different than other people's notes. It's a placemat, okay? Now I'm using, like on the backing, for this is 18 by 14, right? Now, it's a placemat. You can make them any size as long as they fit under a dish and a fork and a knife and, a cup. So this is what I'm making mine, 18 by 14. Now I was told there is an excellent video called 10-minute placemats, and I'm going to try and remember to put the link in there, but it was a very quick and easy way of doing this. Now, so what I'm doing, this is the back, this is 18 by 14, and these are 14 widths, and so is this a 14 width. I took 2 orphan blocks, sewed them together, and made, with little strips of fabric, and then I just made sure it was longer, it was 14 inches. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a piece of 14-inch length between, like on either side of this. And we're not going to get too fussy with stuff. It is what it is. Oh, I should probably change my foot to a 1/4 inch foot, because I only want a quarter inch. I don't want to sew with this one. This is the wrong foot for the job. So, okay. I'm just going to get a 1/4 inch foot on here right away, and this will make this task a little easier. How come that's not going the right direction? There it is. Okay. Now, it's been a while since I've sewed with my 1/4 inch foot. I've been doing so much foundation paper piecing lately. Trying to get mini Mondays all sewn up for a quilt, for a charity quilt. Okay, now, and this, you gotta remember, this is blue Crumb Carnage. Yes, I know it's not blue, but I sewed them all, and then I went, oh, I forgot to tell you guys. Oh no. But anyway, so now I'm going to try and sew these so that the side pieces here stay open, because that will make this lie just a bit flatter. Because when the seniors get them, you don't want them to, put a cup there and have it wobble because there's too many seams underneath. So now, and you're probably going, why is she doing this random piece of X? Because I thought it should look okay. And I thought, alright, this is a good way to use up some yardage. And I've got some cute little stripes going on here. And there we go. So there's one side. Now, I overcut them. And I overcut them with purpose, because I was making a bunch. And I wanted them a little offside. Now, I would press this so this pushes away from the orphan block, you see. Now I've specified the height but not the width, because we're going to play around with the width so it goes offset, so it's offset from the center. I don't want it on the center. Now there we go. So we have this going the other way. No, goes this way. So okay, so now we'll just put this here like so. And this is when we did all of those. Once I decided how high everything was, I cut a whole bunch of strips that height, and then I started adding on pieces of my crumbs and playing around and adjusting crumbs and all of this silliness. And I thought, okay, this is what we're going to be doing. We're just going to have a lot of fun with this, and it's not going to be hard. It's not going to be stressful. You're trying to make something as pretty as you can. That's it. Making something pretty as you can and making it for charity. That's the goal. There we go. Now, because I press them open, I can see my points, and hopefully I'll have nice points on the other side. Okay. So we're done. This, because I made a bunch of them too, right? I decided, okay, I'm going to need to streamline this a bit. And all of the fronts, none of the fronts are the same. They're all different. So here is our front. And I'm just going to finger press this so it looks a little flatter. Now, I can start playing around as to which direction I need it to go, right? Because now, because I have the backing as a pattern of sorts, I can put it dead center. Do I like that? No, I want it a little off center. So I have something that looks a little different. So if I go like this and line all of this up, I'm going to have a cute, funky little edge, right? Just like so. With this piece I can use somewhere else in another placemat. But that's basically, I'm going to have it go like that much. Now I could move it over if I wanted to, but I think, nope, that placement's good. I'm just going to start pinning this in place. Yes, we pulled out pins for this task. Oh my goodness, because I wanted them to stay straight. I was like, okay, how do I do this? I haven't made anything other than a quilt for so long. It was actually hard. This was actually a hard task for me. I couldn't wrap my head around some ideas, and I was just like, okay, but that's okay. We'll figure it all out. It'll be good. But yeah. But okay, so now, okay, I'm going to leave my hole on this side. I'm just going to put flower pins in so I know where I need my turning hole. Because I just used an envelope turn, right? I did not put any stuffing in mine. I figured it would endure laundering better without stuffing. And I thought, okay, yeah, that would be best. That would be best. That would be the better way of doing it. So I'm just going to go like this. And one in the middle. Make sure that's all there, nice and neat. Yeah, I know, I should have pinned it all. Basically, this is a, what do they call it? Pillowcase method or envelope method. But anyways, so I do have a bit of fabric now left that I got to trim off, but that's okay. I've got a board, I've got a ruler, I've got a cutting mat. I'm good. Now, this, I'm going to turn this way because I can get a better angle for my cutting if I go this way. And I'm going to start, here. And I'm just going to cut right along that edge. I'm going to use my back piece, which I know is 14, by 18. There we go. Just like that. Turn. Cut. Now this piece I'm going to save and put it back into my scraps. Maybe I'll have time to make yet another placemat or two. But this is a good cause, a worthy cause. The president of the Edmonton District, or Edmonton Modern Quilt Guild, came up with this idea, and I thought, yeah, let's do some of that. Let's just do some cute little placemats. Have a whole bunch of placemats going out to, you know, the elderly. A lot of the veterans make use of Meals on Wheels too. Now, this I'm going to turn over for a second, so you can see you've just got a tiny little strip here. And then you have your blocks or your strip of you know, color or something. And then you have some larger piece. So when you're putting this together, what you're going to do is you're going to start from one pin of these flowery pins. Okay, just going to need to get this all off of here a bit. Get this out of the way because I don't need it anymore. So I'm going to start here. And I'm just going to run a 1/4 inch around. I'm going to pull that pin out. And just quick 1/4 inch. There we go. There we go. And turn, pivot with the needle down, because that makes it so much easier. Okay. Now you don't have to worry about the top edges of the block being, you know, because they're just a strip to make it 14 inches. There. Now you pivot. Pivot again. Now you could put cording in, or you know, anything like that that you wanted to add that you had kicking around. I wouldn't put lots of cording in, maybe cording around the outside edge or along the strip that you're inserting. You know, actually you didn't have to do any inserting if you didn't want to, right? Because of any kind of block, because it's such a quick thing to do, you know. And I found this the fastest way to make, and I forgot how many I made, but they were just a lot of fun. It was one of those things that, oh, I can do this, I can do this, yeah. Just make a placemat. Don't overcomplicate it. It's a nice quieting thing to make. And each person gets one, so if they're all different, that's fine. You don't have to worry about, well, do I have enough to make 4 or 6? You know, that was another, you know, struggle people were making. You know, so everybody has their own. They launder it all the same, right? Okay, now we got the other pin. We do our back stitch because we forget to do that when we're making things. Yes, we forget to do that. Now I'm going to trim off the fabric here at the corners. Now I take a deeper than 45 cut, but I do not cut through the stitching. Cutting through the stitching at this point would be bad. You would lose your corner and it would not be happy. You would not be happy when you're done. But when you cut at a deeper angle, what happens is that you remove all that extra bulk in the corner. So you're not just going at a 45-degree angle and clipping it that way. You're going a little steeper to the corner and then right off, and then a little steeper from the corner and right off. So instead of a 45-degree angle, this is the kind of stuff you're cutting off here, right? So like I said, that is just to reduce bulk in the corners. Now you find the hole where you do your turning. Now I found, if I got my hand right up in there, I turned the farthest one first because that was helpful. And I would turn that corner out as best I could with my finger nail first, and without poking through that hole. Then I get the other one, find it, and then just massage this corner a little bit. And sometimes you can get, just by pulling at it a bit, sometimes you need, not a sharp, I wouldn't use a sharp, but like I use a tweezer with kind of an end like this, and I'm just poking at that just to make it a little bit, you know, squarer. Where did this one go? Well, this one's here. Okay. Just to make it a little square. And if it's not perfect, you know, you're trying your best. It's fine. You know, like, people get like, oh, I can't get my corners to square off. Well, you know what? Sometimes your fabric's not going to let you, you know, and that's all there's to it. You're just going to do the best you can, and just by giving a gentle little massaging there with your tweezer, that's all you can do. Okay, now last corner. This did not take long. So grab it and push it through. Get your tweezer in there and just gently, don't poke through. You do not want to poke through the corner at this point in the game. Now you try and just get it as square as you can, and you hope for the best. Now, once you've got all this flattened out, okay, there we go. We're gonna kind of massage it around the edge so that you can get a really sharp, crisp line. Now, what I like to do is to do this kind of like pre-finger press it before I take it to the ironing board. But, you know, it's just one of those little things you can do, you know, with your stuff. And then that way, it doesn't look, you know, so... You want it pressed. I might have to press this fabric because this fabric is not cooperating. Oh well. Yeah, I guess I have to press it, but that's okay. I can press it. I have the technology. I have an iron. So I wonder if I can't get my iron over here, so I can show you kind of you maneuver it right, so you're maneuvering this so you don't see the bottom from the top. Like, you know, you want the good side to stay, you know, as crisp as possible. Your back side the bottom can, you know, have a little bit of overlap. If you can't prevent it, you can't prevent it. But I find just a quick little finger press sometimes brings everything, you know, nice, sharp points. I think, I'm going to have to get my iron. Okay, just let me cut here, and I'll go grab my iron and an ironing pad, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here we are, and I got a little ironing mat there from June Taylor, and I've got a hot iron. Now, I did the best I could flattening it beforehand, and what I do is I get it all kind of finger pressed before I start pressing, and I pin shut the hole, because pinning the hole shut is actually a really good idea because it just, for me, it always makes a big difference on how nice and flat everything's gonna lay after that. So I just iron this real quick. You don't have to get fancy with any of this. I probably should iron that too. Oh well, we'll get it now. We'll get it now. It'll be fine. There we go, and iron this way. There. Such an easy way to do a placemat is this envelope method, and it works really lovely. And you do have some weight to the piece afterwards. Now this particular striped fabric, I don't know what it was, but it simply would not, could not, will not bend, but that's okay. So now I'm going to just move this out of the way, and we'll get our top stitching. Now the top stitching I want just on the very, very edge. You know, you want it just as close as you can, and you want to start past the hole so that you're closing up the hole. That's what makes this such an easy way of doing things here. And there, get these out, because now we got a nice little long tail of string there showing us where the end is. And now you just want to roll around. Now at the corners, remember you did your best, and you want to get right close, like 1/8 of an inch away from the corner, and give it a pivot. Some of these machines, they could do top stitching like you would not believe. And what I have is the original toe on my Singer 301A. One more there. So that little toe there will give me a 1/8. If I just use the little toe as an edge guide, it will give me a 1/8 top stitch, which is really nice. There we go. The last side. There we go. Last up. There. We'll give it a turn, and we want to turn right here. We want to stop our top stitching just before. There we go. There. Now, pull it out, clip it as close as you can, and you're done. Your little top stitch thing. Now what I did with mine is I top stitched here inside here as well, and we're just going to quickly do that just to hold it in place, just to give it a little bit more, because otherwise when they wash it, you know, if it's not sewn down a couple of different places, it'll start puckering and looking funny. So we want to make sure that it's sewn a few places. There we go. There, and I'm just going to sew across this piece here, right here. There, now roll this up so it fits in my throat of my machine, pivot, and there we go, all the way back up. There we go, just a couple of back stitches just to hold that in place. Now, what you can do with the rest of this is just give this a quick sew, you know, let's say with the stripes, I would, you know, sew on the white on one side, and just give it a quick back and forth. There. There we go. So nobody can see it, really. Nobody's going to be able to see this. And then just travel down a bit within the block. Down to about here. There we go. And then give it a spin. And everything now should lie perfectly flat. Okay, give that a clip. Not at the other end yet, but we'll get there. And that right there is all of the quilting that you need to do on this piece. That's it. That's your ta-da moment. And you've got a nice smooth piece. Once it's washed, it'll stay nice and flat. So let's get to our big ta-da moment. Okay, so this is the placemat we did today, and this one wraps up blue Crumb Carnage. Yes, I know this is not a blue placemat, but the rest of them are. But yeah, you saw how fast this came together, and I'm sure with some of you who are probably better at sewing, you know, objects like this, you would probably, it would be easier for you. So I just want to show you a few of the placemats I made. You know, stuff like this. Remember I said 14-inch high, and then you just put it across until you get 18 across. So this is kind of where mine kind of ended up. I would put just a plain or one or two strips in front, and then we would do all sorts of things. So we added fish in there. We added some fun elements in there because these are going to seniors, and I thought they need some fun, you know. So like I say, all of them are offset, you know, like none of the stripes go right down the middle. So that's kind of important to keep. And I did cut too many, and we've got some fun fruit jam jars and everything else. I did cut too many backs and too many 14 high, so I just put in strips for some of these, and just, you know, we just had some fun with it. That's all there's to it. It's that simple and it's that quick. And we got rid of a lot of blue. We got rid of a whole bunch of blue crumbs, and we got some blue yardage done because I was overrun with it again. But that's okay. That's okay. This was a fun project to do, and I'm so looking forward to handing these in to our president for the Edmonton Modern Quilt Guild for her charity drive for Meals on Wheels. So I hope you stay well and take care, and everything is going great for you in your life. Okay, until we meet again. All right, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey, and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life, and you know, your 1/4 inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your lives, and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye, and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.